icon. I am that pictured in those tales to song. I am that which from the brink respawns. I bring unrest when the seas have calmed. I am legend, I am fool. I am one of many, I am under no rule. I am peasant, I am loon. I'm disparaged, I'm consumed, I'm most certainly confused. Am I seeing something real or is it smoke? Am I on the ground or am I hung without a rope? And is this fantasy or from the dream have I awoke? Am I steady on the path or am I clinging on to hope? Am I? Gather all the teachings that the wise have told, compile every scripture from the books of old, and muse upon the meaning of the truths you've sown. You will germinate the mind, but the fields won't grow. This is the high of low. This is the friend turned foe. This is what the light can't show. If you stand still, don't expect the earth will slow. See that every wind up plateaus. If you wanna see the rise up, let go. The greatest tragedy is every breath takes toll, is to live a life and never witness depth of soul. Snake inside the rocks that tell you will consume. Liberate the mind but lock the body in a groove. Know that sedentary can be tantamount to tomb. This is why a coma patient must be regularly moved. In the quest for plenty, know the paths are many, but few will lead you past the regions where the past is buried. Given is the levy that will bound a man's greed. Prison is the dwelling when you take no leave. Faster than a sparrow flies, trap the Cupid by surprise. Grab his bow and arrow and shoot straight into the empty sky. You could spend eternity immersed in what's inside, but if you're searching for a purpose, then no purpose will you find. I am icon, I am that vision, I am fate transformed. I am that allegiance to the sword you've sworn. I am false idol, I am fraud. Ratchet down disaster like a phoenix in decline. Imagined up in rapture, but no miracle am I. If you sing inside a cavern like canaries in a mine, no indulgence is the hazard, so be wary with your time. To mean something we live and we strive for it. To feel something we fight and survive for it. To love something we scream out and cry for it. But tell me now, are you willing to die for it? Take of what may come as you lay on the line for it. Armored at the core of the ready and primed for it. Bridge the battleground with the courage to drive for it. And to know the fundamentals strike out on his own eventually, and so it would be. Patience, no virtue amid certainty. Fortunate known but determinedly. On the day when he had turned 23, he decided to leave, he was gone. Was like an addiction, he soared on a glorious high. Living to him was a mission devoid of objective in mind. He moved at the drop of a dime with no thinking or questioning why. Never developed attachment to things or would get left behind. This was the method that patterned his ways. Perpetual motion without any reins. No repercussions, no paper to pay. No obligation to come into play. Nothing to weigh, no one to sway. No inhibition or stress to allay. No benefit to the bond that he'd say. So die on the morrow, but live for this day. Lone as the wolf strays, he remained one in kind. A habit of force made as he weighed far and wide. Now onwards and upwards, no grind. If you don't seek, you can't find. Devil may care, well no devil compared. He was on a one hell of a ride, he was gone. Disguised from things insecurity hides. Running from doubt and the pressure to cope, and no semblance of hope on the rise. Running from heartbreak and love, running from who we had failed to become. Running from theory, then came to realize he was left all alone with the words of the wise. And so on, the day when our passage entwined. Now longing the truth at the end of his line. He said, friend, go yonder, but bear this in mind. In this world, no one truth, you can't run from time. all for naught, until I spoke in earnest with this brief remark. I said that while it's evident your knowledge is rivaled by much shrewdness, I've never met a man with such wisdom who's so foolish. Then he grinned and he chuckled and asked if I